Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man! At your services. My daughter has just said to me, "You look like one of them Trump supporters." And I do. USA! USA! You know what? It's fake news. I am not a Trump supporter. Although I do kind of miss him and that whole craziness. Folks, it's a busy, busy day today. We have so many boxes to open. Well, I'm going to let you into a secret. I've already opened 2 of them. Your friend and mine, traveller in time, Astradyne, sent 3 boxes about 2 weeks ago. And I opened one. You've seen all the contents of that. And I was trying to find time to do the other 2 boxes and to, really indulge in that. But what happened last weekend is that, well, basically, Liverpool lost and Scotland lost. So, in a mad whiskey frenzy, I got very drunk. And I opened the damn boxes, didn't I? I'm sorry, so I've killed off all the suspense of that one. But I didn't have the heart to tell him either that, oh, by the way, I've actually opened them. They're awesome, but I've jumped the gun. I can do that. I'm a very impromptu sort of guy. So what I'm going to do now is out of this particular box, I'm going to show you some definite highlights, and I'm going to try to focus on a couple of things in particular. The attentive amongst you would have noticed that I'm wearing a Nostromo cap, as well as a Jack Burton vest. I mean, I don't know. Aliens is truckers in space. What's Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China? He's a trucker. Come on now. So connections are plenty. So we're playing Jerry Goldsmith's score for Alien, and you're going to hear a few tracks from the film, but were not composed by Goldsmith for the film Alien. They were composed by Goldsmith for the film Freud. And the weird thing is, some of those tracks are actually the most exciting elements of the film. Anyway, you'll hear that stuff coming. But right, there is a box down here which I, like a face hugger, has unfurled its lid like this. And the thing I want to show you, pretty much most of all, I'm going to come on to. Now, regular viewers will know that Astradyne sends movies, magazines, books, figures, trading cards, posters, artwork, scrapbooks, CDs, movies, everything. It kind of runs the entire gamut. So, in here, folks, and I'll have a little hodgepodge here. I'll have a little delve in. We do get a slew of films. I mean, I'm pretty certain, Astradyne, you kind of want me to review all of these as well. And so far, I think out of the 40 odd films you sent, I think I've reviewed about 3. I'll get around to it, folks. Jackie Chan, Pierce Brosnan, The Foreigner. Great 70s eco horror. Frogs! Awesomeness. And we've got a whole slew of Tom Baker era Doctor Who's. The Sontaran Experiments. Now, was that Lynx or was it Styx? It was Lynx, wasn't it? Genesis of the Daleks. Don't forget, this was the horror era. Terror of the Zygons, the best one of all. Revenge of the Cybermen. Horror of Fang Rock. A lighthouse. The Talons even, of Wen Chang. Nightmare of Eden. The Creature from the Pit. And the Horns of Nimon. Awesomeness. Mario Barber, Lisa and the Devil. And the great TV adaptation of The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury, which I loved. I loved the first episode and I think the last episode, but anyway. Mr. Sardonicus, and which is a great movie. Mystics in Bali, a 1981 horror fantasy. I do not know that one. Do not know that. Perhaps I should. M.R. James, a BBC adaptation of A Warning to the Curious. And we've also got Time After Time, which of course is the time-travelling Jack the Ripper. Nicholas Meyer directed it. Nicholas Meyer from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and Star Trek The Undiscovered Country. Nothing But the Night, 1973. That's a good British chiller, that one. And 1962 is The Brain That Wouldn't Die. And one of his little notes on the back there, Ho, Kilty! Look out for young Cassandra from Only Fools and Horses in Nothing But the Night. 976 Evil from 1988. Can't be 80s horror. And I've got Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Gotta love these, Kilt-Man. And indeed, I do. Ghost House from 88. And The Innkeepers from 2011. I reviewed The Innkeepers many, many moons ago. Well, when it came out, basically. And beautifully made, fabulously produced, wonderfully acted, but drops the ball, I think. It just goes, it's too obvious and it goes too far in so many sequences where you just know exactly what's going to happen and you know exactly what's leading up to. But, you know, I like the film. Return of the Five Deadly Venoms. I do not know what that is. Also known as the Crippled Avengers. Jackie Chan, Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, 1978. Back on the eco-horror stuff from the 70s, we have Phase 4. And Bug. Super intelligent creatures, ants and bugs that have mental capacities far beyond us and can take over the world. Destination Moon, George Pal, and the great warlords of Atlantis, Doug McClure, and people lumbering around in rubber suits as dinosaurs and fire-breathing dragon monster type things. Well, this is great. Yul Brynner as the Ultimate Warrior. You see that? One of the 70s post-apocalyptic movies. He's got to get a woman. What's that video game? No One Lives. No, what's it called? Nothing Here But the Dead. No, I don't know. What's it called? My son's going, oh, you idiot. It's the best video game ever. Nothing Here Lives. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. And they've got to get this girl across the wasteland and they get attacked by all and sundry. In a post-apocalyptic New York, Yul Brynner is the ultimate warrior, martial artist, and dedicated crusader, and he's got to get a pregnant woman across from one part of the city to another in the hopes of bringing mankind to some kind of salvation. And on the other side, we have Gross Point Blank, which is Martin Cusack. It's absolutely brilliant fight sequence, and that is OTT and marvellous. Toby Hooper with a very gory The Mangler. Awesome. The Mangler is actually not a monster, although it kind of is. It's a machine for mangling clothes. It's a mangle. It does a lot more than just mangle clothes. And the great classic Grave of the Fireflies. Wonderful stuff. Very moving. There's normally a receptacle of some kind. Like we have movie-related mugs, glasses and stuff, and plates. Boromir! On a highball glass. Highball, that's like some kind of cocktail thing, isn't it? Oh, and you know what? I should really christen that, shouldn't I? I like the fact it's Boromir as well. Boromir, great unsung hero, a flawed hero from the Rings trilogy. You know, he does fall under the spell because he's just a man. But he's a man of nobility, a man of bravery and courage and dedication. And he will fight a gallant last stand at Parth Galen. Somebody's shuffling around out there. None too subtly either. Now we enter the realms of music. And we have The Who. Yes, The Who. Accept no substitute. Substitute. Awesomeness. And I have no idea who these are. Quicksilver. Quicksilver Messenger? Is that what it's called? Messenger Service. Live at the Avalon Ballroom, San Francisco, 9th September 1966. The thing about Astradyne, he educates me in a lot of weird and wonderful bands from yesteryear, prog rock, synth, and just all around crazy, chaotic stuff. So, who these are, I don't know. Quicksilver Messenger Service again. The way it's written, I can't read it. And this is live from the Fillmore Auditorium, San Francisco, 6 February 1967. Quicksilver, coming through. Good old-fashioned psychedelic artwork. Look at that. How bizarre is that? I really don't know what that's going to sound like. I do know what they're going to sound like. The Stranglers. seen them live. That's the 2 CD deluxe gold box set. Fucking awesome. Human League. Reproduction. Kind of scary that. Treading on babies by the looks of things. And America, the definitive America. I mean, that does have the song, which, I'll be honest, I detest. A Horse with No Name. I don't get that song at all. I don't get it. Came through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to get out of the rain. And on and on. Nope. Don't get it. I do like in the Mel Gibson, Robert Downey Jr. movie Air America, where you've got like a Vietnamese sort of karaoke duo who are singing that. And I like their version. Right, the Hollywood Strangler meets Skid Row Slasher, a Joe Bob Briggs comedy commentary, which I'm looking forward to that. I mean, the title says it all. The Hollywood Strangler meets the Skid Row Slasher. And look at it. There's going to be some carnage in that. We have classic from the band list, The Bogeyman. This is from the 88 films, Slasher Classics. Uncut, Uli Lamel. It's okay. The Mirror, glass shards, shiny effect, a little bit of blood. We've got some Lord of the Rings figures. As I say, I'm kind of rushed through this because I'm going to focus on something else. We have William Hallwood and Duncan Wood, a big fantasy epic, which looks to me, because I've never heard of it until I found it here, but like Watership Down, it seems to have moles who are the main characters. And I'm just assuming that because they're on the cover. But, and it does say on the back here, by Magnus Magnusson, the quote from him, Magnus Magnusson from Mastermind, an absolute spellbinder. By Lord of the Rings out of Watership Down, I found it enchanting, compulsive reading. I am still haunted by its beauty. Yeah, I'm going along with the fact that it's moles who are doing this. We have Collected Ghost Stories by M.R. James. M.R. James, the man behind the original story of Night of the Demon, Casting the Runes. That's in here as well. And I'm sure that thing I quoted before from the M.R. James BBC adaptation, that'll be in here too. M.R. James, wonderful. Doesn't describe everything that's there. Hints of what is around. Hints what's in the shadow. Hints what's over the hill or in the old tower. It doesn't tell you everything. Let your mind do it all for you. Lots of Lord of the Rings cards. Let's have a little gander at these. Some stickers. These are nice. A nice collection of like postcards. Very nice. Liv Tyler has never been better than she was in this. Never, I don't think. And never been prettier. She looks way better with the pointy ears. Fellowship of the Ring. These are all Fellowship of the Ring. There's Arwen again. Yes, very nice indeed. There we are. There's our little lost boys of Middle Earth. Fool of a Tuck! Run out of space now. There's a Lord of the Rings watch. It tells the time in Mordor. That's great. I don't wear a watch. I haven't worn a watch since I was 21 years old, and Mrs. Kilt-Man bought me a gorgeous watch for my birthday. We have a joint birthday. Yeah, we're born on the same day. Can't have nothing to yourself, can you, now? And sadly, I broke the damn thing, and I just took it as a bit of bad misfortune. I've never had a watch that lasted for long. They've all been broken some way or another. So I haven't worn a watch since I was 21 years old. I've got no idea what time it is. No idea at all. Oh, it's 5 to 1 in the afternoon. I should have started this stuff now. USA! Ross Kemp, warriors, British fighting heroes. This is good. These are VC winners and people who did some amazing feats of bravery in conflict. RAF, Royal Marines, ex-Royal Marine, and I think Army, obviously. Did I say that? I think I said that, didn't I? Army, Royal Marines, RAF, Royal Navy. I knew there was someone else. Brilliant. Ross Kemp, everyone's favourite hard man of TV. Or is that Danny Dyer? Posters. What do we have in here? It's HMV Masterworks. And it is Frodo and Shelob. Looks like old Shelob's been having a bit of fun. You know, I'm an arachnophobe, but I was never frightened by Shelob. Once you saw Shelob, I felt nothing but pity for her. I know that's bizarre, isn't it? But I think you're meant to, because she's old and she's sick, and they're doing what spiders do in that neck of the woods. So once you see them up close, this is the thing about giant spiders. Everyone always says, "Oh, a giant tarantula, ah." But when they discovered when they're going to do a giant spider, like a tarantula, when you make it magnified in size, if you look at big close-up pictures of it, they don't look scary, they look cuddly. That sounds bizarre. They look like big teddy bears. That's a quote from various filmmakers who've said when they've been going to be doing this kind of subject, that when you see it with this big fur, so they have to trim, when they create it, it doesn't look like a tarantula, they trimmed fur off it, so it's not as hairy. Because when it's hairy, it becomes cuter. And obviously Shelob is pretty much hairless, sick and cancerous and lumpy and bumpy. Blech. There's someone with an old medieval elastic band. I don't know who this guy's meant to be. Is it El Cid? Oh, I don't know. Nice sword. Dimensions appear to be correct for a proper, good, old school broadsword. He's nice. Seems like a nice boy. We have more Tolkien. Beren and Luthien. That's one of the uncompleted stories that Tolkien wrote, and obviously his son Christopher Tolkien took over the reins and finished these stories off. There's others of that ilk. The Silmarillion. Yeah, the companion piece to our Rings sagas. Beautifully bound, beautifully covered. Nice jacket on that. That looks outstanding. Astradyne's forever trying to, do his bit for tourism of his hometown, because we have, did you know Cardiff, a miscellany? And we have the sights and the landmarks of Cardiff's fair city. And a recipe for Barabrith speckled bread, 1 mug of strong cold tea, 4 tablespoons of marmalade, 175 grams of sultanas, 80 ounces soft brown sugar, 12 ounces self-raising flour, 2 beaten eggs. Don't let them off lightly. Beat them to within an inch of their life. And a good pinch of mixed spice. And you get speckled bread. There's a quiz in here as well. So obviously you read this book and then you get tested on it as well. Cardiff Arms Park. Yeah. Well done, sir. Proud of your hometown. Good lad. Now, there's always some fabulous artwork as well. Battlestar Galactica. Yes. These are like great little glossy one sheets. I love them. And you can just blue tack them up, and you got a cork board or somewhere, just pin them up, and you can change them around. A lot of these, like with the canvas prints from Steve 007 Smith, once you've got the tacks in the wall, you just put the canvas up, and then you can change them around with the rapidity with which they're arriving all the time. Because yes, just before I started doing this video, there was a knockety knock at the door. Another canvas has arrived. Sometimes it's just an endless procession of goodies. Jaws, Like see with these, you just blue tack them up and you can move them around, you know. Jaws. And what I've noticed here is that although we've got Hooper, we've got Quint, and it clearly is Jaws, there's obviously meant to be Chrissy Watkins, first victim, but there you've got, she's from Jaws too, and she's the one where the even bigger great white shark glides past, and its rough skin, its rough hide, skins are off like, you know, like she's been sheared by bark around her midriff. So it's a bit of a combination there. Oh, and here you go. Yay! It's Big Drum Little China. Look. Awesomeness. I was saying about the potential for a sequel to The Fog, and there's always potential for a sequel for Escape from New York, and I said that Snake Plissken is the guy that you want to see more adventures of. But same goes to Jack Burton. You want to see more of Jack Burton. The great conceit of Big Trouble in Little China being that he's not the hero of it. It's actually his mate, you know, who's the hero, played by Dennis Dunn. He's the sidekick in a story in which he thinks he's the hero. That's the great idea behind it. Brash, brazen, arrogant, and an idiot. Nothing you could ever accuse Bruce Lee of being. Yes. Mr. Handman. My husky makes those noises. Hellraiser. Such shite. We have such shites to show you. Claire Higgins, who used to be very, very attractive in that mature, sexy, sultry kind of way. Bit of elegance, bit of class. God love you. Wilma Deering, Erin Gray. God, one of the sexiest women ever. No matter what they put her in, no matter what her flight suits, her jumpsuits, Jesus Christ, she was awesome. For a young lad growing up then, she was an education. Oop. Salem's Lot. Terrific. The Master. Critters. Little balls of toothy fun. Yeah, it is a good one. Horror Express. I've covered this film a fair bit on the channel, but you have to go back, you have to troll back quite a bit. It's very sort of like a protogenesis for John Carpenter's The Thing. Yes, if you don't believe me, go and watch my video on it. It's a great, great movie. Telly Savalas and his Cossack troops who invade this train. You've got a throwback creature, a missing link, which is from another planet, which can control minds and suck their souls dry. It's a great, great sort of Agatha Christie meets The Thing on board the Trans-Siberian Express. Frankenhooker. Great prosthetic effects. A nice sleazy story. Quite cleverly told, actually. I do like that movie. Poltergeist. They're here. There she is, little Zelda Rubinstein. Sadly, you know, the film is saddled with a curse, isn't it? God, there's more. There's more. What have we got here? Life Force. I've covered that. Toby Hooper. Fantastic. Dan O'Bannon. What a crazy, way out, completely warped sci-fi thriller horror extravaganza set in London. Brilliant. Matilda May in the nude. You skillfully managed to avoid getting any pictures of Matilda May in the nude on this particular collage, I noticed. So that can go on the wall. And, yes, some wolfies. Look at that. I've covered Curse the World extensively. Look at that. The opening titles were just those eyes, Oliver Reed's eyes in the makeup, just looking from side to side, and tears running down his face, because he doesn't want to hurt anyone. And I've got the mask. I've shown you all that stuff lots of times. Brilliant. And there is, I don't know who that one is meant to be, but that's a great looking werewolf, that though. I like that. Bit of foliage, full moon. Snarly snarls. Yeah. That'll be the mouse. Right. Now, Astradyne in the past has sent some terrific figures, die-cast models of vehicles from the Aliens movies, and a company called Eagle Moss Hero Collection. They do these great limited edition, and these are terrific. I'll show you what has been sent so far. The Alien Derelict. This is why I'm playing the Alien music and wearing a Nostromo cap. The Derelict. I mean, they come off these stands. Yeah, they're limited. They come with a certificate and a bit of blurb about the sculpt and what it is in the movie. Look at this. This is terrific. Imagine it's so otherworldly. In previous movies, alien movies, things from beyond, outer space, they're always flying saucer type things. They're very conventional looking craft. But this, look at it. What the hell? What the hell is it? H.R. Geiger helped design it. Biomechanics, biochemistry, bones and organic structures. And the way you got into it is through these vaginal openings down here, because it's all very sexual, of course. Which of course is why Freud would figure quite predominantly on the soundtrack. Although Jerry Goldsmith wasn't happy about that, he composed entire music for the movie, and then Ridley Scott and the editor Terry Rawlins brought in his tracks from Freud. But look at it. Only in Prometheus do you see how these things are meant to fly. And you think, how is that meant to be aerodynamic? But the way that they do fly is pretty good. They do look weird in the sky, but it works. But beautiful, beautiful structure. Strange. So completely alien to what our concepts of a vehicle would be. But look at that. Beautiful. The design, the detail is exquisite. And the way they stand on these little plinths, it's gorgeous too. So let's put that on there. So he's back on that. And I did show you, you've seen this a couple of times from Aliens, the Sulaco, the US Colonial Marines. That looks really good. I'm always very impressed with that. And I've said many times, of course, this is designed, basically it's meant to be a huge interplanetary pulse rifle. It is a weapon that you can travel in. It literally is a weapon. Look at it. Again, the attention to detail, the structure, the sculpt, the colour, battleship grey, military grey. It's hardware. I mean, it is pretty similar to the Derelict as well, but look at that. It is gorgeous, the detail on this. All these, I would say they're some sort of sensory panel array at the front there. They're going to be all the communication stuff to manifest at the front. There's a cannon on top there, I don't know if you can see that. The detail on it there. There's a little cannon. Beautiful. And I suppose like the APC has probably got other armaments on it which kind of swivel out. Obviously, they've got tactical nukes on board this thing as well. So, if an enemy really does piss you off, you can take off and nuke them from orbit. Now, in this spectacular box of goodies, we got another one. Oh yeah, I forgot about these, didn't I? I put them on top there for safekeeping. Space 1999. Yay. Little Tyrion. Game of Thrones. Is it Boromir again? No. It's Sean Bean from Game of Thrones. Doomed yet again. The Walking Dead. So I massively segued completely off tangent there, didn't I? From Aliens to this kind of gill monster thing here. That's good artwork. I like that. Not sure quite what that's meant to be, who it is. Fins and spines, big teeth, definitely aquatic, but got nice muscly arms as well, of a human variety. It's a mare muscle man. Right, now take 2. The end of Alien. Ripley has defeated the alien, and she's taking off in hypersleep with Jonesy the cat in the Narcissus, the shuttlecraft, the lifeboat from the Nostromo. Let's get this open. Now, the interior of the Nostromo was the interior of the Narcissus is again a classical name, Narcissus. The actual ship itself, the Nostromo. The interior of it is actually an adaptation of what you see on the Nostromo's control bridge, its command centre. It's just that, but kind of miniaturised. So you've got lots of stupid big desks and huge pipes and tubes and lots of corrugated stuff taking place, wires and coils all around. Not the most ergonomic of things. Once again, you have a little tiny booklet about it, detailing it, all in typical alien green. You get the certificate, Shuttle Narcissus, certificate of authenticity. This is number 2007 of 3000. Beautiful. On the back you get a lovely little image. All of these craft have the same sort of thing. And then you explode your way into the polystyrene. There's the plinth that comes on. There's a little stand. And here we are. Here's the Narcissus, folks. And this is beautiful. It's weathered because it sits underneath. The Nostromo is tugging the huge oil refinery, ore refinery, which I'll tell you what, I'd love to get hold of that. The Nostromo itself, which they do make the Nostromo, but also the huge Gothic cathedral-like spire encrusted huge refinery which it's pulling across the cosmos. But underneath the Nostromo sits this, the life pod, the lifeboat. And you see it several times in the movie until the huge climaxes, of course. But once they've brought Kane back aboard and the facehuggers come off, you have the great scene of Tom Skerritt as Dallas sitting inside this, listening to time out, taking a bit of solace, solitude from the craziness of working with a bunch of sweary-arsed, antagonistic space truckers whose sleep's been disturbed by an alien distress signal, which has then wrought havoc. It's got acid for blood, for God's sake. It's burst through someone's stomach. Your crew are at each other's throats and looking for you for answers. Anyway, so he sits in there playing this Ein Klein Nacht music, Serenata number 13. There's a bit of classical stuff there. And in a great sort of dreamy moment, he's just sitting there, and it always reminds me of John Carpenter's student movie Dark Star, where you've got Tolby who sits in like a little blister bubble and he just looks at the stars and the cosmos. Because if Aliens is truckers in space, Dark Star was hippies in space. And of course, in Alien itself, there was meant to be a sequence which mimics Tolby sitting in his little bubble canopied observation deck, where it was meant to be a love scene, and presumably that could only have been with Dallas and Ripley, because there's meant to be an attachment there, and the two of them would have been in there, and a love scene would ensue, and that mood would be interrupted by Kane's jettisoned body floating past. That's a bit tacky, isn't it, when you think about it? It gets shot out into space You know, so why would it end up floating back past there? But it'd be a rather comical, spasmodic, knee-jerk stinger moment, and thankfully it never happened. But back to the Narcissus. Look at this; it's a beauty. I know with the sun coming through, it's getting a bit bright. Lots of detail and markings on it, but it's weathered, it's worn. It's sat underneath the Nostromo, and obviously space debris bounced off it and all that sort of stuff. It's just time and distance has had an effect upon it. The viewport windows. When you hold it like that, it kind of looks like reminds you of Slave 1, Boba Fett's thing. You know, nothing opens on this. There's no cannons. There's no little back door. Because don't forget, Ripley manages, once she gets into this, that entire final sequence of the movie, everyone else is dead. So she's initiated a self-destruct. She tries to get Jones, but of course the alien gets in the way. She then goes back, the alien inspects the travel case with Jonesy the cat in it, and then bats it aside. Because clearly it's like, well, I'm not interested in you. I can't use you for a host. Although, of course, a cow or a dog are used as hosts in Alien 3, depending on which version you watch. But the cat's a bit too small, isn't it? Let's be honest. So it bats the travelling case aside, but Ripley then realises, I can't get, it's blocking the one corridor to the shuttlecraft. So she has to go back to try to turn off the self-destruct mechanism. Mother, turn on the cooling units. Ship will destruct in T-minus 15 minutes. Mother, you bitch. She has to go back again, the flame unit, and luckily the alien's gone this time, so she gets, with Jonesy, gets on board the Narcissus, and everything's going to be okay, and she strips off, female in jeopardy again, and then that hand comes out, whoosh, like that, and what it's done, the alien's got aboard the shuttlecraft, and it's trying to cocoon itself in all the maze of machinery and pipes and cooling units and wires and what have you. Shit! So she gets in the air. Well, you know what happens. She gets in the spacesuit. She comes out. She starts singing, "You are my lucky star," and all that kind of stuff. And they're firing little buttons to get the heat and the gas jets to make it uncomfortable, so it has to get out again and then come for it. And she's got the grappling hook. Hits the airlock. Door opens, which should be here. Can you see there? That's the airlock hatch. Opens, alien gets sucked out, and it manages to stay in there, but then she manages to fire the grappling up, knocking it out into space, but it manages to pull its way back on the grappling hook right into the path of these engines, these jets, or whatever the hell they are, whatever propulsion system they are, and off it goes, tumbling into space, getting barbecued, and off she goes into hypersleep. And the rest, of course, is forever doomed history. She's going to meet Hicks and a bunch of colonial marines. She's going to meet a lot more aliens. She's going to lose her daughter, but gain a surrogate daughter of Newt. And then, no sooner has she met them and survived all the battle of aliens, then another escape pod, facehuggers, their two friends and Bishop are just destroyed. She ends up on a colony planet full of sex-starved, maniacal inmates. I've got to fight another alien. And not only that, she's got a queen inside her. Oh dear, oh dear. There you go. The Narcissus. So these are great. Now, where is it now? Let's have a look to see how this works. You fit your little stand on that. And then you put it. I love these little plinths. This is like onyx, and a nice little label underneath. And there we go. Let's make sure I've done that right. Oh. That does not seem right to me. That seems like it's going to fall off. Just get that way. I don't want you guys seeing this go dropping. Where does it go? like that. That's how it goes. So you put it on display like that. Wonderful. A wonderful, fantastic replica. As they all are indeed. You can get the Nostromo. I'd love to have that. But I think really, in many ways, that's my favourite out of them. Because it's just so bizarre and otherworldly. Just, what is it? What? I know he brought the engineers into it and all that, but does any of that really make sense? We love the space jockey, the way he originally was. You've got some kind of command centre there. But the thing is, if you stick to the original movie and the original films, the derelict retains all its mysteries. Nothing is given away. An egg chamber down below. That clearly wasn't meant to be there, and it's what's destroyed these, because the space jockey's got his chest has been caved out, bones bent outward, fossilised into his command chair. It's just wonderful. So many concepts there, some of which lifted from Mario Bava's Planet of Vampires, of course. And the great, is it Jack Arnold? Is it Jack Arnold? It, the Terror from Beyond Space. With Crash Corrigan playing this monster man in a rubber suit, which picks off the crew one by one after stowing aboard their spacecraft, uses the air ducts and air shafts to move around their traps to try to get it in the airlock and blow it up. And that came out 2 decades before Alien. Folks, there is a tour of another box full of goodies, but massively want to give it a shout out to Eagle Moss and these wonderful miniature die-cast replicas. Just beautiful, totally beautiful. Now there's a way of lighting those with a bit of shadow and a bit of eeriness to give them that sort of, the things in space in the Aliens movies, space does not look like it does in Star Trek or Star Wars. It looks ominous. It looks like a dangerous place to be. You have that green, that organic, sinuous green is definitely the visual aesthetic for all the otherworldly stuff, and just the colour schematic for the cosmos, the deadly cosmos. So if you get some kind of greenish tinge to the lighting, you're really going to capture something there. Oh, here's the exciting music from Dallas in the air ducts, and this is from Freud. It's not from Goldsmith. Did not compose this music for Alien. He composed it for Freud, and it's in the film Freud. But Ridley Scott and Terry Rawlins thought, no, this works better. And you know what? I've defended Goldsmith on so many times, and especially on this, cursed Ridley Scott for the way he's handled composers in the past. But that said, I cannot imagine the film without these cues. I mean, the way this builds up, the eeriness of Dallas being stuck in there, and if we get down to it, we'd have to move down here, because what he does in the film, Ridley Scott uses the opening of this track, which is called, oh hang on, it was Charcot's Show, but then we get onto Desperate Case, which is from Freud as well. Yeah, this is Dallas is beginning to panic now. Oh, Dallas, move! Get out of there! Move! It's heading straight towards you! Lambert, am I clear? I want to get out of here. Move, Dallas! Get out of there! Hair's risen. It reaches for him. It's terrible, isn't it? Terrible, terribly frightening. Folks, yeah, so anyway, I've got more to unbox, more to show you. So please, in the meantime, and this festooned with goodies in between time. Please, keep it Celtic, and I am going to see you all. T-minus 10 seconds and counting. USA! USA!